there, I'm author Sarah A. Chrisman.
And I'm Gabriel Chrisman.
And today we are discussing Wuthering Heights. This is a classic. Now this book, my relationship with this book has changed a lot over the years. And for me, it's just as interesting to reflect on my changing relationship with this book as it is to reflect on the book itself. Mm-hmm. So, first time I read this book, I was 12. It was, I specifically remember I was 12 because that was the summer that I took the train to visit my cousin in Ohio from Washington State. So, stuck in my memory. And I was reading it on the train. And it was the only book I'd brought with me for the train journey. And I found it, at the age of 12, incredibly boring. Next time I read it was for English class when I was 18, at which point I loved it because I was an 18-year-old girl, and here for school I was getting to read this tempestuous romance, and I just adored it. Reading it as a more mature woman is an interesting experience because I still like it. I still appreciate that it's well written. I certainly haven't gone back to that 12-year-old too young for it stage. And I think that was the problem when I was 12. I was just too young to understand all the emotions. I understood the vocabulary because I read a lot, but I just was too emotionally young to understand all the emotions going on. But as a mature woman, I appreciate that it's well written. I get a little frustrated that there are so many other equally well-written books from the Victorian era, and in some cases even better written books from the Victorian era, that get completely ignored while everyone obsesses about this one.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I have a slightly different relationship with it. I think I've only read this book once. I think it's it's not as much of a book for guys.
It's not a guy's book.
Right. And I mostly remember just being annoyed at the characters.
They do have their annoying times.
They have their very annoying times.
Especially Edgar and Linton. Linton is the sort you want to shake.
But I'm equally annoyed with Heathcliff.
Heathcliff, he's so brooding.
Exactly. And that just didn't do it for me. I read it when I was a teenager as well. And Heathcliff just seemed like not the sort of guy that I would get along with, let's put it.
He's pretty emotional.
Yeah. Not very rational, shall we say.
No, he's all emotion.
Yeah. And
he's all emotion.
And certainly some of the language and the words I thought were interesting, but I was not a fan.
Well, the thing is, Heathcliff being all emotion, that's exactly why women like this book. They like to picture that they could evoke that, powerful, emotional experience.
They like to toy with guys.
I don't think most women would find his violence attractive. That's the problem with Heathcliff.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Heathcliff, is he is too violent. And I mean, he's got some scary times.
And there's the brooding.
You really don't like the brooding.
I don't like the brooding much. It just isn't attractive from any perspective.
Well, but Edgar spends all of his time whining.
Well, whining isn't attractive either.
No, it's really not.
But this doesn't really increase the value of any of these characters as models.
True.
Right.
And Kathy, for all that it's ostensibly her story, she dies too soon for us to really see much of her. She dies pretty early on in the book. Everyone remembers this as the grand romance of Heathcliff and Kathy, but the first Kathy dies. We actually see more of her daughter, who is also Kathy, which is just a little more than confusing.
And why? Why choose the same name? I mean, unless you're trying to say this is one character, basically.
I think that she did it because this book is all about the decline and fall of the aristocracy. It's the decline and fall of the ruling class.
And creating the continuity across generations that sort of is part of that whole system.
Something that occurred to me in a recent rereading of this was that it has a lot in common with the fall of the House of Usher. I think that if Poe had been a woman writing The Fall of the House of Usher, it would have come across as very, very similar to Wuthering Heights. And similar, if Bronte had been a man writing a similar story, it would have come across like The Fall of the House of Usher.
Right.
Because they have a lot in common. They're both about these declining noble houses.
They're both sort of a gothic romance.
Very gothic.
Yeah.
Very gothic. And they were written at similar times.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I put this question to you. Do you like the movie The English Patient?
Like is a strong word.
Because that's basically Wuthering Heights.
I know. I admire the artistry, but part of that is just the cinematography. It's not really the story.
The story of The English Patient is the story of Wuthering Heights.
Right.
And you refused to believe that until I made you rewatch it, and we saw the scene where the lead romantic character is in the back of the truck, and they're dragging him off, and he's screaming, "Catherine!"
Well, remember, I only read this once, right?
Yeah, but at that scene, you said, "Okay, I admit it, it's Wuthering Heights."
Right.
Yeah. When you see that scene of him getting dragged off and screaming "Catherine," you can't deny that it's Wuthering Heights.
Pretty much, yeah.
But anyhow, it's definitely been an influential book on a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people love this book, but I come back to my question of, I come back to my question of why, you can have my water, Psyche. Why this book gets obsessed over while other equally valuable books go begging. Like, I don't think anyone's ever made a single movie of any of the Wilkie Collins novels. Well, The Moonstone.
The Moonstone and The Woman in White.
Have they made The Woman in White?
Yep.
They can't have done a very good job.
I think the BBC did a miniseries or something.
They might do a good job. But anyhow. But yeah, people forget all of Wilkie Collins' works. This one, I feel like they make a movie out of it every few years.
Yes, right.
Again and again and again and again. Why? Why do these other novels go begging and everyone keeps on this one?
It got added to the list of classics early on, and then it has the sort of advantage of inertia and momentum that just keep it going. Because same as, unfortunately, things like Billy Budd.
I hated Billy Budd.
I hated Billy Budd too.
I hated Billy Budd. Although
it is on the list of classics.
I have more respect for Billy Budd after realizing that it was based on a true story.
Yes, it doesn't, however, keep it from being a terrible book.
Terrible novella, let's be precise.
Okay, novella. But it is terrible. It is excruciating to read.
Yes, you are correct.
Yes.
You are correct.
And so, unfortunately, a lot of classics have been added to these lists.
I had an easier time slogging through the, 800 pages of Moby Dick than the 50 pages of Billy Budd.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it a lot more too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So,
although I still think Melville's long-winded, but that's another day.
It's intentional long-windedness, and we've seen what happens when he tries to go short.
Yes, but let's come back to Bronte.
Yes. But again, she got added to this list of classics very early on, and it has stuck because of tradition. Right. And then repetition.
But why? Of all of the novels from the 19th century, why this one? Why did this one get put on the list and Wilkie Collins didn't?
You got me there.
Mm-hmm. Unless maybe it was because the 20th century teachers wanted to teach all their students about, aren't you so fortunate you didn't live back then, like these poor people who are absolutely typical of the 19th century. That these people in the novels of the Brontes were absolutely how your life would have been if you'd lived in the 19th century.
And maybe that's why Billy Budd got assigned to.
Maybe. Although again, at least Billy Budd was based on a true story.
Yes, this is not.
This is nobody's true story. Right. There is nobody ever lived like this. Right. To be fair, it was an early novel. And early novels are always a bit, speaking as an author myself, early novels are always more dramatic. And later novels, as you develop your craft, they get more subtle. I mean, think about my first book, A Dream on Two Wheels. That was more dramatic than any of the tales of Chetzemoka.
Definitely.
So I understand what was going on. It's a good book. It's well written. I don't deny that. I know you don't like it.
I must admit I do not.
Okay, why? Just because Heathcliff annoys you?
Most of the characters annoy me. And
it's impossible not to be annoyed with Linton.
Yes.
I will admit that.
And I do like novels to have at least one admirable character.
That's true, and that is a fault of this. There are no admirable characters in this. Mm-hmm. I mean, Heathcliff definitely stays in your memory. You remember Heathcliff, but he is not by any stretch of the imagination an admirable character.
Yes, everyone out there, do not emulate Heathcliff.
He's not a nice man.
Right. But in general, those are some of the problems I have with it.
Yeah.
The other problems I have with it are that it just overemphasizes everything.
Again, it's an early novel.
I know.
It's an early novel.
That doesn't mean it has to be good, though. And so again, there are so many better ones.
True.
That I would not add this one to my list.
I do think it's one everyone should read, though. Partly because everyone has read it, and so you have to know what other people are talking about. And even if you don't like it, which I respect that you don't like this book, even though I do like this book, you have to have read it to
know you didn't like it.
To discuss it with me in an articulate fashion.
Yes.
How, if you hadn't read it, you would just be sitting there going, don't like it, never going to read it, which is not... It does not lead to a useful discussion. At least you can say why you don't like it, which is important.
Yeah.
Important. And so it allows you to form your own opinion, which is important.
Yes.
So anyhow, however you feel about Wuthering Heights, I think it is important in the history of literature. But just don't think that these people were emblematic of the normal life in the 19th century.
Or any time.
Or any time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But still a fun book. Anyhow. Thank you for watching today. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a nice thumbs up and remember to tell your friends about my books. Happy reading.